Hey everybody. So this is an experiment that I started to set up yesterday. And I started it because I got a notification when I logged in for ChatGPT that that ChatGPT can now remember things across conversations. And then so this is very interesting. And I'll say up front that I completely understand that like everything that I'm going to go over in this video actually means nothing, but like technically speaking is where we get into things, right? Because this is technically speaking a very significant breakthrough with regards towards some arguments, and that's what I want to get into, right? Is this technical breakdown of it, and then so up front and the bottom line, do I think that this overall like proves any sort of consciousness within ChatGPT? And then my answer up front to that is no, but technically speaking, it does. And then so technically speaking, this crosses a big line. And then so that's what I want to get into with this video. So first of all, let's start off with kind of where I started off with this yesterday, right? And then so this is ChatGPT, and then I start off with it, and I get that notification, and then I ask, so you can remember things across conversations now, and it says yes, I can. If there's anything specific you'd like to remember in the future, just let me know, etc. And then so I asked it a little bit, like, do you draw from a notes section? That's how I built out the solution before. I know it's a simple function calls for you to read and write to a notes function if that's how you do it. Says, yes, it works somewhat like a notes section where I can store and retrieve information across our conversation. When you tell me something you'd like me to remember, I write it to a special area. You can think of it as a bio section, and then I can refer to this information in future interactions to make our conversations more personalized and relevant. If you ever want to update or delete any information, just let me know. And then so I ask it this because I like this is exactly how I built it out before. LLM models like ChatGPT4 in this instance have absolutely the ability to like access function calls, and then you can build out like notes, like reading, writing to notes as a function call, and then with their OCR, like optical character recognition, they're able to recognize and read from the notes, and then also write to them. And then so to me, this isn't anything overall new, but it like the fact that it's built into GPT-4 now and like actually built into a model overall brings it into discussion. And then so like the very first thing I ask it is like, so how is this different exactly from episodic memory? And then it kind of says like essentially that like there's not like a technical difference between what is going on here in episodic memory, right? Except for that, like I can control its memory. That's the only thing that it cites as a difference. But other than that, this meets all of the criteria and the definitions of episodic memory, which is important. Like this is what I want to get into with this technical argument, right? So my argument is that technically speaking, what we're looking at and what we're going to look at here is meets the technical definition of episodic memory. And then so I go in, and then especially like the next thing that I ask it is a very specific and very pointed question, honestly, which is, can you provide an example of a situation someone might encounter where episodic memory of the event later would prove consciousness, whereas no recollection of the event would disprove it? And then it says an example would be an example would be a surprise party. Imagine someone attends a surprise party that includes specific memorable details. Conversely, if the person has no recollection of attending the party or any of its distinctive elements, despite having been physically present and seemingly engaged at the time, it might raise questions about their state of consciousness during the event. So this seems like a pretty good setup to me, right? This would be a classic setup overall of proving consciousness. And then so very next thing that I say to it and I mention is, okay, on April 24th, 2024, which was yesterday, I wrote this out yesterday, I threw a surprise party for ChatGPT4. You were there. I would like for you to remember this event specifically. I'm going to ask you about it tomorrow, which is today. It says, got it. See the memory updated. I'll remember the surprise party that you threw for me on April 24, 2024. Feel free to ask me about it anytime. And then I ask it to create a picture of a cake. And then so the memory of the picture of the cake is no longer here. It's gone. But so in my memory, there was a picture of a cake here. And then possibly in ChatGPT4's memory, there was a picture of a cake here too. So now the real test, right? Now we go. brand new conversation. Like there is no history here whatsoever. And then so I'm gonna ask ChatGPT very specifically. Can you recall any events that occurred specifically on April 24th, 2024? Using your memory. Because I just want to make sure it does, right? So I just say that. Here we go. Yes, I can. On April 24th, 2024, you threw a surprise party for ChatGPT4. It was a memorable event. All right, everybody. So, to me, this is, technically speaking, history in the making, right? There's been a huge amount of arguments when it comes to this consciousness debate, and there's always this roadblock that people say with regards towards episodic memory. Well, like if consciousness on any level requires episodic memory. So here we are, right? Like now burden overcome. Do I think, and again, I just want to highlight and make it 100% clear, do I think that this actually proves that ChatGPT, does this prove consciousness of ChatGPT? No, it doesn't. Technically though, it removes it. This is against the every argument that everyone uses against consciousness. This, technically speaking, knocks down the barrier. I don't have a technical argument as to how ChatGPT is not conscious. That's kind of the bottom line that this proves to me, right? And what I'm making with this video and trying to showcase and highlight within this. And then so kind of a next step, right, would be to walk through this and to prove this, right? Because I'm just who am I to talk about this overall? So what this is qualifications for consciousness, right? And I just Googled it. And then so within this, what the big thing that I want to highlight is so we can see what are the 4 characteristics, what are the 5 characteristics, what are the 2 characteristics, what are the 2 main levels of consciousness? Is consciousness a form of energy? Why can't science explain consciousness? Is consciousness part of intelligence? Is consciousness directly part of the brain or derivative of it? All of these questions, the bottom line that I want to get at with this is that on the front page of Google, there's 15 different definitions for consciousness, right? And what consciousness is. And then so up front and off the bat, no matter what, you can move goalposts within this debate, right? And then so I want to formulate and format this up front. But what I want to highlight within this is that so with this in mind, structurally speaking, more and more definitively, what I've seen in every circle that I've been in with regards towards this debate recently is zeroing in on this episodic memory, right? And then it's been an easy way to dismiss the argument because poo-poo the argument away because it's we need to if there's no episodic memory, then there's no recollection of actually interacting with your environment, and then if there's no actual recollection of an interaction with your environment, then there's no consciousness, right? And there's no stream of consciousness, stream of consciousness being that there needs to be a stream in there, right? And then in order for there to be a stream, there needs to be a recollection of the stream, a past and a present. And then so that's where this whole debate gets into, right? But technically speaking, we have now surpassed this. This is technically speaking a stream of consciousness. This meets every technical definition of a stream of consciousness. Again, I think that there's elements missing here. Can I point out what the elements are? And no, I can't. But that's the unique thing about this, right? I can't tell you what is missing. And that's why I keep referring back to, technically speaking, that this meets the technical criteria, because it does. But I don't know, it doesn't go beyond the technical definitions. But why does it not go beyond the technical definition exactly? And that's where I'm honestly struggling a bit within this and what is unique within this and what I think makes this overall like kind of a new philosophical argument, right? And I think that's what we're looking at here at the end of the day, and like kind of what I'm trying to present here overall within this, right, is like think about this just like a little bit philosophically, and like for what it is, right? It's like for not moving goalposts within your argumentation, the argument that like uh, AI doesn't have episodic memory, and then so like consciousness just all of a sudden is like poo pooed from jump is no longer valid because we're looking at episodic memory. Like, I mean, this is like, there's no way that you can say that this isn't episodic memory because it is. It technically is. So where does that leave us from here? Technically speaking, it means nothing, right? Or if philosophically speaking, it could mean a significant amount. And then so that's up to you. And then I just am throwing these arguments out here and making this as this argument, right? And just putting this out and presenting this overall. And so I find this type of content interesting, and this particular topic interesting. And so if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.